Okay, so Lori comes over and he just takes the mic away. So I was so excited to want to do this because I believe that what Jason said, that this is about leadership. It is about leadership, and I never believed in any associations when I was involved in other things. I wasn't thinking about it, but many of you know who have been here after 9/11. Okay, we started something called the Convention Exhibit Meeting Coalition, and we put together a team of 400 people who worked tirelessly almost for 6 months after 9/11 to help bring the city back. How many people here were involved in that? I mean, there's a lot of people here that were involved in it. It was called CB. And it made me realize the importance of leadership and the importance of getting involved in your community. And it was probably one of the most rewarding things that I have ever done. And it taught me that if you give, you're going to get back. And it's that rule of nature that really works. And so we're here today to talk about leadership and getting people involved. Whether you're involved or your company is involved or the people in your company involved, encouraging them to get to be part of the community, to peek over the fence to see what other people are doing is more important than you can ever imagine. So we're going to start with the elevator pitch. If I had a little cheat sheet when I got involved in this industry to figure out what the initials meant and everything, it would be a lot easier because I felt embarrassed to ask. I don't know what site is or PCMA. Everybody talks in jargon. And we really don't understand any of it, right? Until you sort of get it translated. So we're going to go down the line. We're going to start with Tom, and he's going to talk about MPI in the elevator pitch for 30 seconds.
All right, we are an organization for meeting professionals. That means both planners and suppliers. Our chapter here is about a 50-50 mix most of the time. It bounces back and forth every now and then. But we are there for the education for meeting planners, providing them with accreditation for CMP, CMM, and then we are also there for suppliers to have opportunities to be sponsors, to find business, and to have access to professionals and meeting planners across organizations throughout New York and then throughout the 8,000 members across MPI globally.
Right. Thank you. I want to ask everyone, how many people are members of any of these organizations? Let me go the other way. How many people are not members of any of these organizations? Okay, and so your job is to convince them to join your organization. And actually, you're not talking to them, but this is social media world. You're really talking to them and their 17 friends and their 17 friends and their 17 friends. So this is the pitch to do that. And so I want to start first with go around the horn on what are the benefits of being a member. What's a personal benefit of being a member? Oh yeah, we need the microphone.
Personal benefits for MPI. I mean, I joined the industry 2.5 years ago, and I jumped head into the swimming pool. It's been professional development for myself, learning the industry, learning who's in the industry, learning what types of companies are in, whether it's meetings, whether it's events, you know, who's out there, where my niche is at. Professionally developing myself, kind of continuing that education, whether from college, from my other industries that I've been a part of, kind of tying all those shoelaces together. And it's about finding friends. For me, especially with MPI, I found a lot of friends that I can just kind of call on, and that will help me, whether they're competitors, whether they're associates that I work with, that I would hire. No matter what, they're there for me whenever I have a question.
So what's your advice to someone? Is it the leadership role that you've played? Is it, I mean, when I join something, I want to be all in. I don't know about any of you guys, because I get more out of it when I'm all in, right, Jackie? Yeah. We know when you're all in. Of course, Jackie. But is that
for me personally, yes, because I mean, I grew up, you know, being the president of this in high school, the president of that in college, and then I kind of left it for many years when I was lost in Chicago. I think it was the winters, and found myself back in New York, and finally in the industry I should have been in for the last 12 years of my life. And yeah, then it's all in.
Right. So. But is that what you would suggest to others that come in, or how do you get to
I think that's been a benefit for MPI. We've only been growing our board and the positions and the chairs over the last 3 years and creating more opportunities for people to be leaders.
Right. So are we the student body presidents? Oh. How many people were student body? How many people were in student government? We nailed it. Yeah. Okay. Well, Tom was the class president. He knows. Can you imagine him? What grade were you president of school, of your college? Right?
Last year.
Last year. That's right. Okay. So give your speech. Who were you up against in the election in your high school?
Trump.
Her name was Julie.
Julie, and what was your platform?
She's a girl. No. I'm just kidding. Never.
So you're learning all about these people. There are stories. It's about.
I didn't say I ended up being the president.
Oh. What were you?
The vice president.
Oh. But you didn't have to fill in. We all go back to those days. Do you know that half of Richard Nixon's White House were made up of all student body presidents?
Interesting.
Yeah.
No recommendation.
Yes. That's not a good sign. Okay, so the question, the economic question.
So back to the economic question.
How much is it to join MPI? In just in general terms, a couple $100 or $1,000.
It's around $4-5-ish for suppliers, $350-ish for planners per year.
$350 or $3,000?
No, $350.
$350. Okay, so it's reasonable.
As an MPI member, you're an MPI member. You're a global member, and then you pick a home chapter, whichever one makes the most sense for you, for your business, for your location, whatever. And then there's also additional costs. So let's say I'm a member of MPI Greater New York, but I'm a member of it, so I pay $30 for an event, whereas a non-member is going to have to pay $60 to go to an event. And that's, whether it's an educational event so that they can earn the credits, so they're kind of paying for the credits, or it's a social event to pay for the costs, right? When you tally it up for the year, I mean, you could say if you went to everything and you went all in and you actually participated, 6-10 events a year. So, I mean, you could easily get up to about $1,000.
Right. And did you have to justify this to your company, or are they open to?
Fortunately, my VP was actually the president last year of MPI, so not too much justification, but I have had to interact with many people that do have to justify it. And I think from the perspective of, it's a lot easier to justify if you can actually prove that you're doing something with it. If somebody else is paying for it, you kind of have to step up a little bit more than if you were paying for it and you just don't want to go and show up. If somebody else is paying for it, you're putting their money on the line. It's like if you're gambling with their money. Well, are you going out and getting new business? Are you going out and getting your credits to get your CMP?
So you have to show.
You have to show your ROI.
And that's what every CEO is thinking, like, okay, is this investment worth it to me? Right. So learning is we're going much more global, and everybody around the world is doing exactly the same thing that we're doing. And so that's really interesting. So, okay, so but then we have all these events that you do together, right? How do you guys work together? I go to Christmas parties and it's everybody together, so why not just have one big organization? What's your answer to that, Tom? The hot seat, Mr. Vice President of the class of what?
High school or college?
Oh my God. College. What college?
03.
03. And then what, were you the vice president in college too?
No, I was president of my fraternity.
President of your fraternity. Now we're really getting to that. Okay, so tell us a little bit about what everybody's doing together. Let's talk about collaboration, because we are all in one industry and we're all have the same goals. And to me the goal is to get people to collaborate, to have conversations, and change the world.
Two events that almost every one of our organizations actually holds together is Summer Bash, which is usually held in August over my birthday, August 12th, just so you all know, presents expected. Now usually it is like August 12th or August 13th. And so Summer Bash with HSMAI, ICE, all of us actually do it, yeah. And then the holiday party, usually in December, and almost everybody except ICE.
No, they stopped.
Not well, the last year. But here's why. Sometimes we get too big for the properties in New York City and what they have available in December. So, those events are fantastic because you get to meet people that are in their niches that you might not have yet to have met before. And there's 250, 300, 350 people at these partner events. I know in this past year, ourselves and PCMA have partnered together on an event. Site and MPI partnered. Yep. And yeah, so it's when we find an educational opportunity that both of us can benefit from, and maybe the speaker might cost a little bit more to bring in, or we need to partner together to find the right venue. We've come together to do that because it makes the most sense for our members.
Right. And you know, there's also a bunch of other groups that are not represented here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what is interesting to me. We have NACE, right?
Well, that's what the whole
The cater, oh, beautiful, the whole 33, right? But you have in New York City strong chapters in IAEE, which is the exhibition industry. You have the catering industry. What else am I missing in New York that's strong? Anybody here?
NYC Company.
NYC and Company.
They were invited.
They were invited. Well, Jackie is part of them as well. Jackie is everywhere. Jackie. But there's lots of these organizations, and actually understanding how they work is really important from a point of view of understanding the industry. Festivals and events.
Even EPA.
EPA, not the
Healthcare. Okay, David.
And so we're shooting out, like we said, there's like 33 separate organizations. And you're probably asking yourself, like, where do I belong? What am I interested in? You know, can I just try this one? Do I have to pay $400 to try it out to see if I like it? Most of us, you don't. In fact, MPI, especially if you're a planner, we'll sponsor you. There are people that will sponsor you to come in, try it out. And the same thing, or even just call one of the board members that's on our website. We'd be more than happy to let you give it a try. Come meet us.
Let's go a quick round robin. What are you doing for students in terms of getting them? Is there reduced rates, or are you trying to do? What are you doing to bring in the next generation other than
visiting
YEP?
me in my class.
Okay. Since he has the microphone.
So with MPI, on a global is actually has an initiative. If you sign up with MPI during your senior year, I think it's free the senior year. And then it's actually a reduced rate over the next 3 years, so it's tiered.
Senior year of college?
Of college. So then it's tiered your next, after you're president of your senior class, or your fraternity, whatever, then it is tiered your next 3 years. So it's like $30 your first year, $50 your second year. And our current rate for students is only $50, I want to say.
So all of you have a student, why don't we just ask, I mean, yours is free, it's just beer.
It is, and we...
Yeah, that's why I think that the idea of using YEP as a theater organization and a gateway, leaning into this, I always believe in leaning into millennials, because when boomers lean into millennials and they leave their ego at the door on both sides, it's magical. And I have a lot of millennials working with me, and I think they're the smartest generation coming, even much smarter than we are, and. That's my pitch for the lecture.
Yeah, there's no membership fee in there's no membership fee in WAM, but their students are always welcome, and we encourage leadership positions. We encourage people to take on leadership roles and
you
do
take
something.
volunteers for all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
I know that all of us take volunteers, right?
Yes.
Volunteers are the secret weapon of New York City, and when we do our trade shows, we get 70, 80 volunteers at a pop. So, and other events get lots of volunteers, and it's really an amazing way to recruit people who want to get in the industry. It's the other thing I tell people when they want to get in. Volunteer for something.
We love to have
So maybe there's some interesting thing about our discussion at the table and here about using YEP to be a feeder organization for your mentoring programs, which would be a great connection. And we see that, I think that we appreciate that YEP is hosting this, which shows tremendous initiative on their part to even think about this idea. So I congratulate them for that. And I want to open up for anyone have questions out there.